Welcome to this week's Forex Forecast. Make sure you let me know in the comments down below what pairs you're watching this week, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, starting things off with the US dollar index. The past week, the banks got rid of 6,264 long contracts, and they also got rid of 600 short contracts. And in the last week's Forex Forecast, I talked about how we are reacting off of this weekly supply on the US dollar index. And as you can see, we have seen a move down in the past week. Now, it does not mean that we should just be, shorting the US dollar. First, if you do want to get in short, and a good sign that the US dollar is actually going to continue down is if we get this daily demand removed. A couple Forex forecasts ago, I talked about how price was probably going to react off of this daily demand, and we did. And now we are coming in for a second test. So this zone is used up. So if you want to get in short, I would at least wait for that daily supply to be removed. And if it continues to move up, then that daily zone is holding, and then we might actually break that weekly supply on the US dollar. So definitely just keeping an eye out on this daily demand this week to see what happens at this area. On to EURUSD. The past week, the banks got rid of 40,643 long contracts, and they also got rid of 593 short contracts as well. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you are not subscribed yet, and make sure to leave me a comment down below which pairs you're watching this week. I would love to hear from you guys. So looking at the daily chart on the euro, if you do want to get in long, I would target right before this daily supply still at about 1.12. If you do want to get in short, I would target before this daily demand at about 1.085. If we do get up to that daily supply, you could look for confirmation in that area. If not, we'll have to make any other trading decisions based on the 4-hour chart. Right now, we do have a 4-hour uptrend. In last week's forecast, I talked about this 4-hour zone. I didn't really recommend going long at this area. I said we could see a small move, but it actually looks like we saw a bigger move. So we have a 4-hour uptrend now. So if you do want to get in long, I would still look to take profits somewhat early on the euro if you are in long, because I think that this trend could be coming to an end very soon. And here's why. If you look at a weekly chart, we have a weekly downtrend right now, and it's a very strong downtrend. And we do also have a daily downtrend as well. So according to how I view the charts, it's very likely that this is just a pullback, and then we will see another down move in the euro. But we could still see that 4-hour trend hold, and you could be day trading to the long side until we get to this daily supply, where we could see a move down from there. All right, on to gold. The past week, the banks got rid of 17,887 long positions, and they also got rid of 5,287 short positions. In last week's private Discord, I talked about how we had a daily demand zone here, and we were tracing back down to that, and we could see a reaction off of this zone. And obviously this zone broke, but I also mentioned that we could see price react off of this weekly area of demand as well. So now, since we are in weekly demand on gold, I am going to be looking for long positions on gold. And what I'm going to be doing, since we are in a weekly demand zone that looks like a very strong demand zone, I'm going to be waiting for 4-hour confirmation. As you can see here, the zones that I track for the YouTube and Patreon members, this is a 4-hour zone right here that worked very well. So if you got in short, very nice. And now I'll be waiting for price to come back up, break that zone, and then I will be looking to buy a 4-hour zone on gold, something like that, or look to day trade to the long side on gold coming off of that overall weekly demand. But I will not be doing that until this 4-hour area of supply is removed. So I'm just being very patient here on gold. I don't want to jump the gun and get involved just yet. We are retracing back to this 1-hour area of demand on gold, and I did almost just place a buy order as we broke this trend line and supply, but I did not. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because the risk to reward wouldn't really have been there. And I already had a great trade on GBPUSD this week. It's been my best trade of my career so far. And now we are retracing down to this 1-hour area of demand. We could see a small reaction from this zone. So if you want to day trade on a 5-minute chart, you could definitely look to get involved here on gold to the upside, but look to take profits somewhat early, because I don't really trust this 1-hour area of demand. But it could also be that we react off this and then move up to all-time highs, and then we break that 4-hour supply zone I was talking about right here, and I can look to get a long position on gold. So just looking to be patient this week and wait for that perfect opportunity. All right, looking at USDJPY, and really quick, I just want to give another shout out to Julius, who is a Patreon and YouTube member, who hopped in on a very nice 1-hour zone from my weekly Forex forecast combined with my Patreon and YouTube membership supply and demand zones. He got in on this 1 hour zone right here. Almost no drawdown. You almost can't even see the trade. It was that good. So congrats to you, Julius. And if you guys want my zones like I just talked about, check with the YouTube or Patreon membership. Links are in the description. It's only $5 CAD per month. Could definitely help you out with your trading, and you can use my zones combined with the weekly Forex forecast, and it could definitely be beneficial for your trading. So on to the call report for USD Japanese yen. The past week, the banks added 24,952 longs, and they also added 18,000 short positions. Obviously, the daily momentum is still very strong, looking at a daily chart here. So like I said last week, I recommended do not short USD yen. And obviously, if you didn't, then it worked out very nice for you. So hopefully you guys got in on some longs. And it looks like taking profits should be coming up very soon based on, I think we are coming up to monthly demand. Now, throughout the week, we reacted off of a few zones. This is just one of them right here. This 4 hour area of demand, we reacted perfectly off that zone. You could have got a 15-minute confirmation in there, but right now there's really not a lot of options I'm seeing. There is a 4 hour area of demand right here. You could look to get in long on a 15-minute chart for confirmation, but we are almost pretty overextended, so we could actually see price break this zone, maybe retrace back to here and then go up, because that's a pattern that I see happen when price gets overextended like this. So be careful going long, and I would not really recommend going short on the yen right now. GBPUSD, the past week the banks got rid of 18,540 long contracts, and they also got rid of 2,000 short contracts. If you are looking to get in long on the pound, I would target 1.33 right before this daily area of supply. And also, I think I said this last week, but this area of supply is definitely decent to look for 1 hour confirmation. And I know I'm mentioning confirmation a lot, so check out my tips playlist if you don't know what confirmation is. If you want to get in short, I would target only 1.305. If you do think that the pound's going to drop further, I would target about 1.295. So now let's go down to a 4 hour chart and a 1 hour chart. If you look at a 4 hour chart, there's really not much to go off of here. I don't see quality supply till up here, and this demand is actually tested and used up. So not really a lot of trading opportunities here on the pound. We might just need to wait for that daily supply to be hit, or we could wait for a 4 hour uptrend, which would look something like that, where we have a cleaner uptrend and a cleaner ability to draw a trend line. Then we could look to set and forget trade to the upside on a 15-minute chart or a 5-minute chart, but not really seeing too much right now. Just have to be a little patient and wait for either a bigger up move to look for longs on a smaller time frame, or a bigger up move, like I said, to this daily supply where we can look to get in short on a 1 hour chart. USDCAD, the past week the banks got rid of 11,180 longs, and they also got rid of 1,086 short positions. If you look, we are reacting off of this daily demand again, so now it is tested and very used up, and we are actually coming in a little bit deeper now. So any confirmation to the long side, if you do want to get in long on USDCAD, it should be based off of a 4 hour confirmation. If you do want to get in long, I would target only about 1.275. If you do want to get in short, I would target right before this basing structure here at about 1.255. Not really seeing a lot of trading opportunities right now on USDCAD. Even if you are on the 4 hour chart looking for confirmation, like I said, there's really not too much to go off of here. Hopefully we can get some sort of supply zone right here by the removal of these two demand zones. And then if price comes back up to there and then we break that supply zone, maybe there will be a demand zone here. We can look to get in long, but really there's not much to go off of yet. The only thing I see is this area of supply on the 4 hour chart right here, but it is very high up, and that's a pretty high up price to look for confirmation. So hopefully we get a bigger move down and a supply zone on the 4 hour chart. And you can come over to my chart link and see the zone removed, and hopefully there will be a 4 hour zone to look for confirmation in there. All right, on to the Aussie dollar. The past week, the banks added 4,760 longs, and they got rid of 28,500 short positions. This is a chart that's actually intriguing me quite a lot. If you do want to get in short, I would target 0.73. If you want to get in long, I would target 0.75. Now, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, this chart looks very, very strong, and I'm actually going to be looking for buying opportunities in the Aussie US dollar. If you come over to a 1 hour chart, we have a very nice 1 hour uptrend. You could be day trading to the long side based on this 1 hour uptrend. So what you could be doing is looking for maybe 1 minute or 5 minute set and forgets as we push up higher, so like pullbacks to the upside, or you could have actually looked for confirmation in this demand zone, but it might be a little too late right now. So what I'm actually going to be doing is waiting for this 4 hour supply to be taken out. Now we have a high-end price right here with a supply zone. So once that is removed, something like this, we will possibly have a 4 hour demand zone right here, and you can actually look for a 15-minute confirmation coming off of that demand zone if something like that happens. Now that demand zone could actually happen quite higher. We could see a move up like this, and then there could be a demand zone right here we could look to get in long at. But hopefully we see the price keep pushing higher with new demand zones being formed, because then the opportunities just get better and better as we get more zones to look at. So definitely looking pretty bullish on the Aussie US dollar, especially as if we look at this weekly chart, we are currently breaking this downward trend line, and I think a lot of traders could be short, and in my opinion, we could actually be taking the other side of that trade and getting in long. USDCHF, the past week, the banks got rid of 3,500 longs and they added 952 short positions. If you do want to get in long, you could target 0.94. Short, I would target right before this daily demand at about 0.9. Here's the thing. I am very interested in trading this pair right now. There's a nice daily demand right here. I will be looking for 1 hour confirmation coming off of that daily demand, and I'll show you what that will look like in a minute. But there's one thing to keep in mind with this daily demand zone is that we are in weekly supply. But the reason that I want to get involved here is because we had that downward trend line all the way down here, and then we actually broke that downward trend line. That's the overall trend line. And this weekly supply zone is tested once, twice, almost 3 times, and this is the 4th time, and it's tested much deeper. So that is why I believe it will break. But like I said, looking for confirmation coming off of that daily area of demand, it's going to have to be very, very nice confirmation. If you look at a 1 hour chart right here, we have a beautiful 1 hour downtrend. So I'll be waiting for this downward momentum to shift, and that will look something like this, and possibly giving a zone right here, and then we could get a move up from that. So I'll be looking for confirmation with a momentum shift coming off of that that daily area of demand, and hopefully it'll happen soon. But this is definitely looking like a decent pair to trade to the long side as long as we get that momentum shift. Last but not least, crude oil. The past week, the banks got rid of another 10,738 longs, and they added 9,112 short positions. We reacted off of this daily demand very nicely. I've had this zone marked out for the Patreon YouTube members for a long time now, and we are coming up to this daily area of downward pressure right here. I didn't really call this supply just yet. If you do want to get in long, I would target 120. Short, I would target about 97.7. The reason that this daily demand zone is significant is because we are actually reacting off of this weekly buying area right here. I don't have this as demand just yet, but this is still a very significant area where buyers clearly took control. So I'm kind of looking for a dip buying opportunity on oil. If you come to a 4 hour chart, you should be looking for 4 hour confirmation if anything, and we actually reacted off of one of my zones today or yesterday whenever you're watching this video. So you could be looking for 15-minute trades coming off of this 4 hour zone. I think that that's fine. But overall, I think it's kind of risky to be trading oil right now based on everything that's going on in the world with Russia and Ukraine. And so hopefully that will end soon and oil will go lower just for the sake of the world. But at the same time, it looks like oil could be going higher, and I wouldn't really recommend getting in long till at least this 1 hour area of supply is removed, possibly leaving some sort of 1 hour zone left to look to get in long at. So hopefully that happens and we can get a nice dip buying opportunity in oil. And right now, like I said, we're in weekly demand, so it's high odds to be trading since we are in really higher time frame areas of demand. And if you do want to get in short, like I said, I would look to take profits somewhat early, but overall it's difficult to tell where oil will go based on the political events that are occurring. So if anything, just be very careful, maybe risk less while trading oil this week. Hopefully you guys found this weekly Forex forecast helpful. If you did, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like and check out the Patreon or YouTube membership if you need help finding your supply and demand zones. It's only $5 CAD per month. Hope to see you guys there and hope to see you in the next video.